Good morning and welcome to the Fife Property Market Update, and this is for the week commencing the 13th to the 19th. So as always, if you have any questions, any comments, feel free to put them in the comments and we will come back to you. Even if you can't watch it live, feel free to do that. So this is where we look at the activity that's taking place. So this is, as I say, from the 13th to the 19th. So this is what was happening on Rightmove right across Fife with all agencies. Then we'll take a look at what activity we were doing specifically. So new listings, sold and completed. And of course, the new listing means coming soons, which is great because you'll see what pre-portals to look out for. Then we'll do a run through of the shows that have also taken place, just so that you can see what you want to go back and rewatch, because there is some really, really good content. But as always, we'll start with last week's statistics. So this is the properties that have sold and been instructed within Rightmove all across Fife. So any agent that's used Rightmove, their statistics have all been calculated. So this straight away gives you an insight into what was happening. So straight away you can see that there was 155 properties instructed versus 118 sold. Now this is the first week in quite a long time. And you'll maybe know this if you are a regular to the shows, but this is first in a long, long time that there's been quite a bit of a difference between instructed and sold. But straight away you can see 72 properties were instructed in Dunfermline just last week. That is a massive surge of properties hitting the market within 1 week when you think just for one area. So there was definitely something in the water within Dunfermline last week. When you think that normally Dunfermline is around 40 to 50, so actually if you add on that extra 30 that is the difference this week, that then would fill the block between your 155 and your 118, because it's not normally that much of a difference. So it just shows you how one micro region having so much activity hitting the market in 1 week can knock it out. But actually, if you were to strip that back to Dunfermline's normal numbers, it would be around the same. And we do always say 1 week does not make a trend. Obviously, there was just something in the water within Dunfermline last week, whether it be in, people being off school and people being off, so they had a bit more time to have the house looking ready, whether they'd gone away and just left their agents to get on with it. It could be a mix of different factors of why properties went to market so much in Dunfermline last week. When we look at the other micro regions, and when I say micro regions, I mean the areas within Fife, you have your Cooper, 11 versus 10, so there and thereabouts. East Neuk, 9 properties instructed, slightly higher than what we see for East Neuk. A couple extra than we normally see, but it's quite surprising that actually only 2 properties sold in East Neuk last week. It's normally around 4 or 5. So 2 is a little bit lower than normal, we would say, but 1 week doesn't make a trend. A lot of activity hitting the East Neuk. We had a good couple of properties, even for coming soons as well. There was a lot of pre-portals for the East Neuk last week, and there's going to be one tomorrow as well, which I'm really excited for you to see. Absolutely stunning property. St Andrews, 15 versus 10, slightly higher numbers for St Andrews than what we're used to. Normally it's a little bit less on both instructed and sold, but 15 instructed is quite high, and so is 10. To have even double figures selling in St Andrews is great, especially because there is so much stock sitting just now. Average selling time in St Andrews, you need to have a wee bit of patience and be prepared to maybe sit on the market for anything from 5 to 6 months, just with how much is hitting the market, with on average how much is selling each week, and then looking at what stock is available. And it's actually something that you could go on and do yourself if you want to do your own homework, whether you are a seller within St Andrews, whether you are a buyer in St Andrews, or whether you are just curious. You can go on to Rightmove yourself, put in the KY16 postcode and see how many properties are active just now. You can do the little drop down and take away the tick that shows you what's kind of sold subject to concluded missives. So you can get the active listings. And if you can see like average now, okay, is just 10 properties, work out then how much months worth of stock there is. And you can be anything from 5 to 6 months. So just be prepared for that. And if you want to speak about that in more detail, more than happy to speak. If you call the office or message privately, we can discuss, if you do have a property to sell in St Andrews, what next steps look like. Leavenmouth, 11 versus 11. So strong numbers, and Leavenmouth is always a high performing area. Obviously the investment We're nearly hitting a year since the train station and the commuting links were made available in both Leven and also at Cameron Bridge, and we're still seeing a positive impact on properties coming to market and properties selling within the KY area. Dunfermline we've already touched on, really high numbers. Glenrothes 13 versus 16 and Kirkcaldy 24 versus 21. And they normally do float about that. It's not really anything untoward within those areas. Now just remember, this is the core market. So that is just your resale homes only. That does not include the new builds, because then it wouldn't be a like-for-like comparison. But last week for new builds, there was one that sold in St Andrews. There was 2 that sold in Dunfermline, nothing in Glenrothes, and 2 in Kirkcaldy. So that is the new build statistics. So that is what was happening right across Fife with all agencies. So that gives you a great insight, as I say, if you're a seller, if you're a buyer, or if you're genuinely just curious, it gives you an idea of what is happening. We do this week on, week out. Every Monday we go live and we do this with you just so you can keep a really close eye on it, and you know that we're only dealing with facts and figures. And this is coming right from Rightmove. But it's definitely a great insight. But if it is something you want to discuss in more detail, get an agent out to you, or even give us a call, and we're more than happy to speak with you. You may be wondering, when is the right time to sell? If you are looking to sell and you want to be moved this year, then now is your time to do it, before we get even more properties coming to market and there's going to be a lot more competition. Now is the ideal time. So to discuss how you go about that and what next steps look like, let's get either myself or Perry out to you, and we can discuss your next steps. Now let's discuss what was happening for ourselves. So this is the activity that we had taken place. So we're going to start with what sold last week. So this is properties that went to market and have now accepted offers on them. So they're now going to be showing as sold, subject to concluded missives. So this is the first one. This is Bank Street in Cooper. It's just opposite the medical centre, the Adamson Hospital, and it's great because you head right out the back. You've got countryside views and walks, but it's great for commuting right along the A92 to either Dundee or to Glenrothes, Kirkcaldy, beyond. So it's a brilliant location. Now this one is a 2-bedroom detached character lodge on a substantial plot, and you can see that you're getting all of that driveway space to the right hand side, multiple space for vehicles. But what was great is there was development opportunity as well, whether you wanted to extend, whether even in the garden space you wanted to build a garage, whether you wanted to do a kind of summer house, additional kind of outdoor living space. So much potential, because actually the garden doesn't end where you see that fence. It actually is all at the back as well, and it wraps around the side to a brilliant plot, while getting a character lodge with beautiful and unique features inside. And the new owners are absolutely delighted to be getting, obviously, a character property in a desirable area. Now, as always, we can't say what the properties have accepted offers. We need to wait until they're going through conveyancing. Had a little mind blank then, but we can't disclose what offer they've accepted, so you just need to keep watching. But that one is now sold, and obviously both buyer and seller are delighted that they can move on in their journey. Next one is the one in East Reims. So this is brilliant because you can see straight away there, sold in 1 week. Now this is within the new development within East Reims. So this is Shabbos Crescent, and it's a 5-bedroom detached villa. And if you are wanting to maybe look at some inspiration or just see this immaculate property, go and be nosy. Go and look back at Perry's personal property tour, because it's an absolutely stunning home. So it's a 5-bedroom detached property, finished to an extremely high standard, spacious, modern interiors. You've got your integrated garage, you've got your large driveway, great location as well, because it's like that village kind of lifestyle, but you're still close to all of your amenities. And whether you want to head into Leven, into Glenrothes, Kirkcaldy, so great location also. And this was on for offers over 360,000. So both sellers are delighted, because they're actually purchasing from ourselves as well, so we're able to keep the chain neat and tidy. And obviously the buyer is delighted to get this absolutely immaculate home. So if you are within that new build development and for whatever reason you're looking to move and relocate, and you would like a result like that, sold in 1 week, pick up the phone. Obviously there was people that missed out on this property. It was very popular and people really were trying to get through the door with this one, but obviously we accepted an offer so quickly. So if you have a similar property within the area, let's get Perry out to you and let's get your property valued and discuss your next steps. Now, our final sold for last week was in the KY8 area, and this was Lawrence Drive. Again, sold in 1 week, so a brilliant result. The sellers are absolutely delighted that we're able to negotiate them an offer. So this was on for offers over 175,000. So they are delighted that within 1 week we have got the property sold, and both buyer and seller can move on with their next steps, because actually the buyer of this property is actually a seller of ours as well. So again, we're keeping the chain nice and neat and tidy. Now this one is a 4-bedroom semi-detached villa. Great opportunity to go in there and add value and put your own stamp on it, and that the new owners are absolutely delighted to be going in there and doing a wee bit of work and knowing they'll add value, but also they're putting their own stamp on it while getting a brilliant plot, because you're getting all of the off-street parking, your driveway, garden space, and obviously they're relocating to this area because it suits their needs better, but they're getting everything that obviously Leven has to offer, because of the commuting links, because obviously the beach, the Fife Coastal Path, your retail park, the high street, it's got everything that you would need. So everybody is happy with that one. As I say, you just need to keep a lookout and keep watching for when that concludes to see what offer was negotiated on it. But some great results last week, slightly different areas, different price points, and 2 properties sold in 1 week, which is incredible results. If you do want something like that, let us do that for you as well. Coming soon. So of course, this is properties that myself and Perry have been out to value and are coming to market with us. So first one is in Main Street, Collinsborough. This is a stunning property. So it is a 3-bedroom apartment split over 2 levels. It is immaculate. Really high standard kitchen, bathroom. It's got a gorgeous living space, really bright and open. And then it's got 1 bedroom on that floor. And then you go upstairs to 2 further rooms, and it is just beautifully presented. I'm actually really looking forward to showing you this one. It's Collinsborough as well, so it's a great location because you just close proximity, whether you want to get to the East Snook or whether you want to head back into Leven, but you've got so many options within your doorstep, but you still have amenities within Collinsborough as well. But the property is absolutely immaculate, and I know you're going to love this one. Now, the pre-portal will be out probably next week for this one, so you don't have to wait long. So certainly do keep a lookout. Next one is Larchfield. So this is in Methil. It's a 3-bedroom semi-detached property. What's great about this one is you're on a brilliant plot because you're tucked away, no through road, and you are on a kind of a corner plot, we would say, but you're getting driveway to the kind of side, but you're getting garden space front, side, and rear. So you're getting plenty of outdoor space. So if you wanted to, you could actually extend, but you're getting a really spacious property, both the living room, the kitchen. Excuse me, I knew I had a sneeze come in. Off the kitchen, you have another space as well that could be almost like a utility space or even a home office. And then upstairs, you're getting really spacious bedrooms. So it's a brilliant property. It's going to be an affordable price range, whether you are a first-time buyer, whether you are a family looking to upsize. And of course, it's close to all of your amenities, close to local schooling. So I know this one is going to be a popular one because we have sold around the corner in neighbouring streets, and they have been popular as well. So I know when this one goes live, it's going to get snapped up. So make sure you keep a lookout on our Leven page for that one. The final one is Omar Crescent in Buckhaven. This is a 3-bedroom semi-detached property. So again, it's an area that we know is going to be an affordable price point, but it's going to get snapped up because it's an ideal family home. And you don't have to wait long for Perry's pre-portal of that one either. So make sure you go and follow the pages, because a pre-portal, if you aren't aware and you're maybe new to our marketing strategy, this is where we do a complete preview and a video walkthrough of a property before it goes live to your Rightmove, your Zoopla, and your S1 Homes. So this is your opportunity to see the property and get in there before anybody else. So wherever you're looking to purchase a property, that's where you need to be following the page for. So if you're looking for a property in Leven, follow the Leven page, East Snook, the East Snook page, etc. Then you'll see the agent's space at the start of the video and the words pre-portal. That's when you need to act fast. Watch the full video walkthrough, because at the end we tell you the price point as well. And if it is a property that ticks all your boxes, you're in a position to proceed, and you can make our seller an offer that they just cannot refuse before it does go to the wider market, then you need to reach out. And what I say is, ready to make an offer, you need to be a cash buyer, and you're coming forward with an offer that is attractive to our seller, that they almost want to bite your hand off, it needs to be your no regrets offer. So if you do see a pre-portal, act fast, reach out to us, and it's your opportunity to kind of bag the property before anybody else. If you're sitting here and you're thinking, okay, I'm not a cash buyer, I've perhaps got a property to sell, or I'm on the market, we can help you with that. We can guide you with that. You just need to speak with us. That is what we're here for as the experts. It's then our job to work with you and guide you through the process. So please don't let that put you off. Still do reach out to us and we can talk you through that. But that is our coming soons. And then finally, completed. So we have a completed within Kenway. So this was Pentland View, and it was a 3-bedroom detached property situated within a really desirable kind of quiet cul-de-sac within Kenway. Now this one we achieved 7,000 over home reports. So I had a home report of 225 and we achieved 232. So 7,000 over home reports. So a brilliant, obviously, offer to negotiate over. It was a relatively quick process as well. The new owners are absolutely delighted with their home. They're getting a great family home in a really desirable cul-de-sac, and again, it's close to all of your amenities. So that is a brilliant property, and that is now over the line and sold. So if you have properties similar to any of these or any that I have discussed in today's show, and you are looking to get yours sold, you can see that we are experts within the area. We get great results, we get over the home report value, and we do it in a good, timely manner as well. To have 2 sold in 1 week is brilliant. So please do pick up the phone. Finally, before I let you start your week properly, we will discuss the shows that took place. So of course it's Monday, which means you also at 12:30 have the Wales Creation Show. So this week it's a call to action. So kind of in this fast-paced world, ideas are everywhere, but execution really is everything. Today, more than ever, a clear and compelling call to action is the bridge between insight and impact. Whether you're marketing a product, rallying your team behind a new initiative, or inspiring change in an organization, your message is only as powerful as the action it drives. When you consistently include a call to action, you move forward from simply informing to then inspiring and mobilizing on the back of that. Does including a call to action seem like it would be beneficial to you and perhaps your business? As always, the Wealth Creation Show, you have Richard Cook, the Lettings Director, and Jim Parker, one of the UK's most successful property investors, on hand discussing. So it is live at 12:30, but if you can't watch it live, then there will obviously still be rerunning, and feel free to comment on that one also, and they will come back to you. Now, a show that Perry and I did last week was the asking price myth. Buyers always need a discount. False. And this is where we discuss it in detail, because do you believe that buyers never pay the asking price? Because many sellers certainly feel that way, but it's not really true. Most buyers are simply looking for somewhere to live that they love, and the homes that garner the most interest sell faster and either get multiple offers, and that is all down to the correctly pricing it, but also the marketing strategy and pushing it out there to get as many people seen and through the door, because you have a short amount of time to capture somebody. So it needs to be strong photography, it needs to be pushed out to a wider audience and have the biggest reach, but also correctly priced. So where does this asking price myth come from? What can it cost you, and how can you break free from that? So as I say, Perry and I, we were discussing that last week, so you can go back and watch that show. There's some brilliant hints and tips, loads of facts and figures in it as well, and some that will maybe surprise you. But likewise with that show, if you do have any questions or you want to discuss it in more detail, put it in the comments and we will come back to you. So we also then did the property market report. So this is where we looked at both Fife and nationally the figures and statistics for the first quarter of 2025. So that was the January, February, March months. We looked at newly instructed properties and sold properties, so you could see what was actually happening with facts and figures and real information. So that one we also did last week, so you can go back and watch that one. So some great information and plenty happening. But that is another week of the market update. If you have any questions, put them in the comments, pick up the phone and speak with us, message us privately if you prefer. But I hope you have an amazing week and see you next Monday for another update. All the best. Take care.